she was doing, and she said she was doing some cleaning, and I said, me too. Yeah, the only difference between me and her is that I was using Python and SQL as a cleaning detergent. So I would like you to think that you are restaurant owners. Consider you live in France. And you want some insights, so you go to your competitor's restaurant. The restaurant is by the lake. You go there, the waiter showed you your table, you ordered your food. Now you're thinking about how much money this place makes. Although it seems kind of easy to make some calculations, actually it is not, because you need to consider a lot of aspects while you are making those, different calculations. Is it kind of confusing? But don't worry, the analysis team here to help. So we're going to use the tiller as a cash register system, and it provides you that with all of your restaurant's data. So you're going to use your sales, your customers, your data to provide detailed information. So our insight is based on a huge database, which actually consists of sales, products, prices, waiters, tables, and dates. So let's explore your business with some key insights. So we need to define some key metrics. We're going to talk about some turnover. What is turnover? Turnover is actually how much your business makes. And we're going to say average ticket size, which is actually each customer, so they pay averagely. So we're going to talk about the data. The data that we are going to go in deep with the analysis belongs to 2015 and 2020. But not all of the analysis we are going to use 2015 to 2020. When we are talking about the COVID, we are using 2019 to 2020 data because in the beginning of the 2019, you reached the maximum number of the stores, which is 21. Let's go with some general numbers. You see, you reach almost 1 million customers, which brings you more than 21 million euros of turnover, which gives us the value of average ticket size, more than 21 euros. And as I mentioned, its number of stores, 21, a lot of 21s. So let's go, but what can we have some deep analysis with it? The only numbers that we are gonna get like this, actually, if we ask simple questions or detailed answers, so we can get our detailed analysis. So we can go with waiters, COVID, and maybe our next investment. So let's go with the questions. Question number 1. Is there a relationship between customer, turnover, and waiter? Let's go see the chart. So in this chart, you see the number of customers, number of waiters, and total amount turnover. So you see, we divided all the number of total customers, which is 1 million that I mentioned, into seasons. We see there is a summer and autumn seasons has the highest total amount of turnover, and we realize that there is a decrease in number of customers. But how did we keep the same amount of turnover? And we also have there's an also increase in number of waiters. So we can result that the average ticket size is increased, and this is with the number of waiters we have, because the more waiters you have and the less customers you have brings you more sales perspective about your waiters. As a result, we can say the optimized number of waiters brings you more sales focused waiters. So the second question is, when should you call for more waiters? So we can see the total amount of turnover and number of customers graph here. So you see the different parts of the day, morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. You see the highest amount, the number of customers we are welcoming in the evening. So we can say the more waiters we can call in the evening time. Let's look at the second graph. Now we look at the days of the week. Normally you might think that weekends are gonna be like really crowded and we need to call as much as waiters we need. Actually it's not for this case, because you see there's a huge decrease on Sunday. So without knowing those insights, calling a lot of waiters on Sunday will cost you a lot of money. As a result, we see evening is the time period with the most sales, and the most crowded days of the week are Friday and Saturday. And the third question, we really wish that, but what if there was no COVID? We're gonna look in terms of turnover. So we get the data from 2019 and 2020, we mentioned that. You see the gray colors shows us the total turnover of 2019 and 2020 with the COVID, the real actual data, and gives us the total amount of turnover in the restaurant business, 8.2 million euros. We calculated, come back. We also calculated the predicted turnover, that what if we had no COVID, and the total turnover might be more than 11 million euros. There's a huge decrease. And we also look at the takeaway businesses. In this chart, we see the same concept by taking the takeaway businesses into consideration. We see the actual data turnover is actual turnover, 1 million euros. We think that there might be an increase in the turnover in terms of takeaway businesses, because we all know the takeaway businesses are skyrocketed right after the lockdowns, but actually it is the beginning of the corona, and the lockdowns are hit really hard. So the predicted turnover without COVID didn't change. So as a result, the investing more in takeaway businesses might prevent you loss of turnover in terms of crises, and we realize that you should always have a plan B. So let's go with the last question. So what type of store should you open next? So we mentioned that you either takeaway businesses or restaurant type of businesses you go with. Let's go with the takeaway businesses. We see the average ticket size of the liquor store is the highest one. So in terms of the next investment, if you decided to open a store, you can go with the liquor store, which has the highest average ticket size. And if you wanna go for the restaurant type of business, even though the coffee bar hasn't got the highest average ticket size, we see that the total amount of turnover is the highest one. So, as a result, again, we can say the liquor store has the highest average ticket size and the coffee bar has the highest turnover. Thank you all. Thank you for listening.